I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Welcome back, AfterBuzzers, to the Grace and Frankie After Show. We're talking Season 6, Episodes 7 and 8. I'm your host, Karla, and I'm joined by my amazing co-host, Emmy May.
Emily May.
Emily May.
Yeah,
oh my God, what did I call you? Long night, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about Barry becoming a guardian, but it couldn't stick the landing, Jack and Nick meeting, Robert at the funeral, and the short rib gone wrong. My favorite part of this whole 2 episodes. But before we do all of that, what are some of your overall thoughts?
Again, I feel like they're really bringing it this season. I feel like each
It's getting
episode...
juicy.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Welcome, AfterBuzzers, to the Grace and Frankie After Show. We're talking Episodes 7 and 8, Season 6. I'm your host, Karla. I'm joined by my amazing co-host, Emily May.
Hey.
How are you, girl?
Good.
We're hanging in there. We're good. We're
Good.
loving the show.
We are loving the show.
It's amazing. We're going to be talking about Barry becoming a guardian, but can't stick the landing, Jack and Nick meeting, Robert at the funeral, and the short rib gone wrong. But before we do all of that, what are some of your overall thoughts?
Oh, again, the writers have definitely
Outdone themselves.
outdone themselves. They keep bringing it every episode. There's something new. There's swerves in the storylines. I never know if a new character is going to pop up. It's been really enjoyable watching these
I feel like
few
these
seasons.
last 2 episodes have gotten beyond juicy.
Oh yeah, especially with the short rib.
And Jacob,
And
which we
Jacob.
will get into. There's just so much going on. I feel like kind of seeing how everything's evolving, it makes sense why there's so many seasons and why it's the longest running series Netflix has as of season 7.
Well, I mean, they have these incredible actors that have like decades of experience.
Amazing.
They definitely bring these characters to life in a really amazing way. So it's so
100%
enjoyable.
agree with you. Well, let's jump right in. And so as the season, I believe it might have ended off like this last season as well. Barry, his sperm, helping his friend get pregnant with her wife, which is all super amazing. And now that he's giving them his semen and she got pregnant, they're asking him to become the guardian, which Breanna...
Which they don't have to do. They could just... It could be one of those things where, like, they just send pictures or, you know, he sees the child once in a while. But.
Exactly. I thought it was kind of funny how Breanna kind of, like, gives him the okay. I'm just kind of like, I don't know. That would bother me. Like, why are you telling me what to do?
I mean, the way I see it is they've been in a relationship for a few years. They're pretty serious. So it's a pretty big life decision to make that choice of being a guardian over a child. And so I think it was actually really nice that he went and asked her, like, hey, this is a thing I want to do, you know.
But to me, it kind of seemed like she had the final say, which was kind of more like they're really asking him. And then ultimately she ends up kind of finding out that, like, she thinks, like, what are the chances that a couple under 30 are going to die before their child turns 18? Like, that's so unheard of. So it's why...
Most likely rare.
Yeah. So it's why she's like, let's do it, you know? And Barry's going to love it that I'm on board. And then she sees how wild they are. Yeah. They're, like, flying to volcanoes. They're, like, adventure junkies.
They want to, like, parachute into volcanoes, and they want to, like, one of them smokes, like, a pack of cigarettes a day. I mean, Breanna's response to this was really interesting because she actually was acting protective and acting like a mom would with her own child of like, no, I'm not going to smoke. I'm not going to do these dangerous things. I'm not going to endanger my child or endanger like the future of my life and of my family's. And so she was really protective. And so it was interesting to see this side of her.
I didn't think about it that way, but now that you mention it, I totally see that. But I feel like what I saw the most was her more like kind of Barry ended up mentioning, saying like, you're just afraid of committing to anything.
Yeah. Well, and that's an issue that comes up a lot.
A lot.
And that has come up in the relationship multiple times.
He says, I proposed to you 3 times.
3 times.
That is like, Barry has a heart of gold. If I proposed to you one time and you said no, that's the last time we're talking.
Well, the fact that he keeps coming back and they have this connection, they have a really strong connection. I think in this case, again, opposites attract. I think Barry brings out something in Breanna, like a kindness and an empathy that she has never really been in tune with because her mom was not really in tune with it. So again, you have Frankie who brings it out in Grace, and then you have Barry that brings it out in Breanna.
Interesting observation.
So you kind of have them bring out qualities in themselves that they're not as familiar with.
I just think for Barry's sake, like I think Breanna and her lack of committing to things is going to get old. And you can kind of see that happening toward the end of these episodes where he kind of says like, you know what? Like, don't even worry about it. Like, you don't even, like, we don't even, like, in this relationship, we don't talk about the future. Like, nothing says you and I are even going to be in the future. And he said it so, like, casually, and you saw her face kind of drop a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's kind of dumb to me. Like, girl, you know you want him. Just be there, commit yourself. What's the worst thing that's going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I think Breanna's also saw her mom go through, you know, be in a marriage that was, like,
not the greatest.
And so she doesn't have really good examples to look up to. And so she has, this baggage that we talked about of bringing this baggage from old relationships into new ones. And so she has all this, like, sarcasm and
just wall up.
Just this negativity towards relationships. And she wants, like, to be this big, powerful CEO, but, like, she's not willing to also open herself up to these relationships.
Agree. I think she's blocking her blessings. I think she's making a mistake. And there's, someone can only tolerate so much until they see their worth.
Yeah. And Barry's put up with a lot.
And there's someone out there who's willing to say yes after proposal number 1.
Exactly.
So I think Breanna hopefully gets it together. Maybe I'll predict that for next season, but we'll see. There's still some episodes left.
There's a few episodes left.
Yeah, quite a few. 5 to be exact. Let's move on to Bud. So there's Bud, Coyote, Jessica, and Allison.
Ooh.
I know. Allison is like,
to get all these people in a room.
I know. He's like, Bud, you need to prove to me that you're over Jessica. And he's like, okay, let's go. Let's all get together at the beach house and we'll settle this once and for all. And Bud is under the impression that he lost his virginity to Jessica, but he had sex with the couch.
He did.
That is embarrassing.
That is revealed, yeah.
That is beyond embarrassing. If you're Allison, what would you be thinking?
Well,
speechless?
They're speechless. I'm speechless. Well, also the fact that Bud didn't even, they broke up, like, in person a couple times and via text message and all this. Like, there was multiple times where they broke up and they only dated for a few weeks.
6 weeks.
6 weeks. And then he's still holding on to all this baggage.
Because he thinks he lost his virginity to her.
I know. And if I was Allison, I would say, Bud, you need to, like, go and talk to someone.
Absolutely.
I think he needs to, like, go and settle this. But now he's so embarrassed and so just, like, he wants to hide.
How awkward is that? Imagine, like, thinking, like, this whole after they broke up, he was so heartbroken because he lost his virginity to this girl that he loved.
Yeah, I mean, he like now has this emotional attachment, this emotional memory
that's not even real.
Yes,
that is wild. And I just think, like, well, even Jessica was nice about it. Like, yeah. She didn't.
Well, and she tried to, and what's funny is like when you watch that scene and the structure of the scene, you could tell that she doesn't want to say it out loud.
She's like, we didn't have sex.
Like, no, and she's like trying to not say it. She's trying to protect Bud, but he just kept pushing, and he's so stubborn that he just kept pushing, and then she had to reveal it.
That's so embarrassing. If I heard that about like my husband, I would be like, But then she does kind of hype him up and is like, you know what, you're good now. Like that's all that matters. Like you satisfy me, and I'm just like, okay, girl.
Well, Allison was super sweet. Like on the drive home, like they kind of like had like a little comedic sweet moment where they're like, okay, we're good now. Like,
yeah,
you got it now.
It was cute, yeah. But before we move on to our next topic, I just want to go ahead and thank all of you for your continuous love and support. While you're here, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you haven't checked us out on Apple Podcasts, make sure to do that. 5 stars. Leave us a comment there as well. We love hearing what you have to say. Any feedback you have is amazing. And just thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate you guys. All right. So in this, there's so much going on.
These 2 episodes are jam-packed.
Wild. So we have, so Nick wants to go on a getaway with Grace. Yeah. And she's like, I can't leave Frankie for Frankie Fest, which is just her birthday.
Yes. But what's funny is like it seems like they do have a very like romanticized life. They go, they have all these trips and stuff like that.
Money.
But yeah, money will do it. But then also Nick seems to not, like, Grace is always so afraid to like step away and go on these trips with him. And I feel like that's like a common theme in the series where like she's kind of like hesitant to actually like take time for herself.
I think she's afraid to leave Frankie behind.
Yeah.
I think Frankie really relies on her. And she even says it, like, it's kind of funny. She's like, I can't leave on this trip. Like, she made me the Grand Marshal.
Yeah. Which is funny, like the Grand Marshal of a parade.
Like, it's just your birthday. It's not a real festival. Relax.
But we saw that example, like, at the beginning of this season where Frankie was completely distraught when she found out Grace married Nick, that she was so distraught she, like, couldn't clean the house. She was, like, disorganized. Things were, like, all over the place. Like, it's like Grace is an extension of, like, her legs and her arms, and like
I feel like I think the divorce really gave them like a bond that I think obviously no one else can understand. Like that's such a unique situation for your husband to leave you for someone you thought was his best friend and like partner, to leave you, and then they're like end up getting married, and then they end up being gay their whole marriage, and just all these things that I feel like have brought them close together and given them an inseparable bond. Oh my god. So I think now they're really codependent.
Yeah, they are. I mean, and they were or continue to be their own coping mechanism. Mm-hmm. So they didn't necessarily get along in the beginning when they were like coping with this, but they've learned to kind of be creative, start business ventures with each other, really kind of build a life. Like they built a new life around each other. They made some lemonade. Exactly.
Yep, that's what they did. And then so throughout figuring out their whole trip, they're forcing Jack and Nick to meet so that they can just have a couples trip.
Yeah, because they want to do like a whole getaway with all 4 of them.
Yeah, it started off a little rough, but it actually ended up going very well, which I was not expecting. It kind of just flipped the switch. I was like, is that all men need? You bring up sports and then they're just best friends. I feel like that's really all it takes. Like, women are so much more complicated than that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it takes a common topic, but it was pretty funny that it was sports.
Yeah, and then they hit it off. Oh, and I feel like this was a moment.
And I was a little worried they wouldn't get along because the way it was going in the beginning of the night, I was like, this is not, they don't seem to mesh well.
I feel like it was like 2 alpha dogs. Like, we're both successful. We both have money. It was just 2 successful men sizing each other up is kind of what I felt like.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think everything was going perfect once they got past their little moment. And then Jacob shows up.
Jacob does show up. I love Jacob. I
love Jacob. Love.
Now, this is a storyline that I can get behind and that I was completely surprised about. And this was where I feel like the writers were like, all right, we're gonna
spice it up.
We're gonna throw a loop to everyone.
That was wild. And then I think he's just gonna show up, show concern, and then he kind of ends up saying, like, I just don't want to be without you. I was like, why?
I know.
She
Well,
just found Jack.
I know. Well, and he mentions that, like, he, you know, life's, you know, they talk about on the patio, like, life's too short, and
she's not saying no.
No,
is what's worrying me.
And he's talking about how he's, like, given things up, and he's had a lot to think about, and but we're also very curious, like, why he's doing this.
Why all of a sudden? Well, like, I blame Saul. Okay, how do you accidentally upload a status on Facebook saying that Frankie is dying?
Yeah. I don't know exactly how that happened.
So they were laughing at, like, a viral video online, and he wanted to post her reaction, but he didn't post the video. He just posted the reaction. So, like, she's dying of laughter, but he just put Frankie is dying. Oh my! Why would this only happen to Frankie and Saul?
But it also is very, no offense, but it's also very typical of this generation to, like, put up
anything,
like, statuses that, like, don't make sense, or that, like, aren't attached, or, like, you put up a status but you meant to write on someone's wall. It's a whole thing.
Social media is tricky.
Social media is tricky.
But that's what
It's
you
a tough
call
world.
before you show up. You
Jack,
send
like,
flowers.
or
if someone really died, you send flowers. You know, you do a lot of things before showing up to, like, a person's home, but they're dead.
Phone call. Well, the fact that Jacob drove all the way from Santa Fe, you know, to get, how long is that? And then
who knows?
14 hours or something? Yeah, I think it shows that he still loves her and has feelings for her.
I don't like that. Exes need to, look, we're back to exes. Exes need to stay away. You can't decide you want someone back once you've been gone. That's not how this works.
I think it's okay in this case.
No.
But why can't Frankie have both?
I mean, if they're into threesomes, go for it. Life is short.
Well, that's what she talks about. Life's too short.
I feel bad. Jack,
so who would you do? Are you in, like, Jacob's camp or
I like
Jack's
Jacob
camp?
when he was a part of the story, but I just feel like when you break up, you leave each other for a reason, and it's best to just move forward. Rekindling is difficult.
Well, part of the reason was Frankie didn't want to leave Grace.
Yeah, and has that changed though? Probably. Well, I mean, now that Grace has left her,
Yeah.
so there are factors involved, but I just think, like,
So,
now
things changed.
Yeah. I just, I don't like to live in the past. I'm
You're,
strong
like,
on
moving
that.
forward. You're like, I'm moving
I
forward.
only see ahead. I don't go backwards. But, if she wants to, he was a really, really nice guy. I'll give him that.
Yeah, Jacob. Well, he was very sweet and so understanding and embraced all of Frankie's
He is handsome
quirks, and he is very handsome. All her, like,
too. Fine. I want Jacob back.
Oh, I convinced you.
I just remembered that Jack pissed me off kind of when he was,
Why?
how aggressive he was about, like, the divorce.
Oh, that's true. He did have a little moment, a little freak out moment.
And they kind of broke up for like 5
For
minutes.
a second, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that. You can't break up that close into your relationship without even talking about it.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see where this goes, because I mean, I think she's gonna end up with Jacob, but we'll see.
Maybe.
Because she didn't say no. That's all I know.
She didn't say no, and
when you don't say no,
there's
that's a yes.
And there's a chemistry. There's chemistry there for sure.
Yeah, I love his voice. Is that weird? I can
No,
hear him
he
talk
has-
all day.
He has an ultimate
Soothing.
voice. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to Robert at the funeral that he had no idea whose funeral he was attending. He was like, I don't want to go. This was a guy from the Navy, but I don't really remember that part of my life anymore. It was 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And then Saul basically, like,
Convinced him to go.
yeah, forces him.
Yeah.
He goes up there, gives like a eulogy.
Eulogy,
He gives
yeah.
a eulogy. Is making it up because obviously no one knows he's lying about his
it's
war
kinda-
stories.
It's kind of like one of those war stories that, like, he's kept in his back pocket that Saul's like, all right, you're going to have to use this story. So he, like, presents this eulogy, and it's pretty moving but vague.
Yes, like it could have been anyone.
Yeah.
And then we come to find out the real reason. He was the reason that the person who passed away and his wife had met.
Mm-hmm.
That was just the most beautiful moment for me because I feel like it's like a testament to you have no idea how the smallest gesture can really impact someone's day, life, year.
Exactly. Like, she tells the story that her husband would have gotten kicked out of training or boot camp because he like had all the strikes against him except one, and because he didn't polish his shoes
correctly,
that like, and Robert helped with that and like helped him get past that. And then that weekend, you know, he met his wife, and they let him go out because he did well. And then he met his wife of 50 plus years. And so I loved that moment because Robert didn't want to go at all to this funeral. He didn't want to like participate in it. He was like, well, I'm not going to get emotional. And then he had this like authentic moment of someone said, hey, you really impacted my life for the better. And you like created love and like helped create the life that I have now by that one little gesture. And then he got so emotional. And so it was really beautiful because I liked this moment because we hear all these stories of their divorce lawyers. So they're, that's a tough job to have. You're working with a lot of emotions, negative emotions. You're working with like trying to get as much as you can from people. But then to see the side where Robert actually gave back and actually
without even knowing
it, and that he did something good for someone, I think it was a good like enlightened moment of his character.
Isn't it crazy to think that like the smallest detail could really make the most drastic like change in your life, but you don't really see it that way? You're like, oh, if I didn't go to work that one day, or if I didn't go to the grocery store, if I didn't do this or that, your life would have taken a complete different route.
Yeah.
Something as simple as shining someone's shoes.
Exactly. So be kind, everyone.
That's the lesson of the day. I loved it. I thought it was everything. On to our last topic, my favorite. There were so many
moments in these 2 episodes.
And I'm sure we're missing some because that's how good it was that you can't even talk about it all, but the short rib. So they have been hyping up this short rib that I kind of want to know, like, what is so amazing about the short rib? I want to try it.
It looked delicious. We should go get some short rib.
Is this a real restaurant?
No, but we can find some.
They're wearing bibs, preparing their stomachs to eat as much as they can.
Yeah,
Barry
they're ready.
Dan.
They're like ready for this like double date short rib extravaganza.
They've pre-ordered. You can't get another one. You can't order it when you're there. This short rib is apparently it's a big deal.
It's like the best.
Yes. Poor Barry. I feel like this is all he's wanted. And then they get to the restaurant and Dan is just being a weirdo.
Oh.
Well, let's backtrack.
Yeah.
So, did you think it was weird that he pretended to like a bunch of things for Mallory?
I think it's actually completely normal.
You're lying.
Okay.
Really?
Okay. Middle ground here. I'll be in the middle. I think it's normal to like things a little bit more and like be interested in what your partner likes.
Yes.
But not everything. Like there's a balance. Like it was a little creepy that he liked everything way too much.
Like Ed Sheeran, the flowers.
That was a little too much. But if he was like, hey, I know you like the flowers.
How cute they are.
They are so I kind of want those bibs. We should have got those bibs to wear.
Yes. So we don't get ourselves dirty.
Yeah. So I think it's normal to say, hey, I know you like this restaurant, so I'll go with you to this. Or I know you like this event or this concert or this artist.
I'll watch it with you.
We'll watch it together. So I think it's normal, totally normal to do that. But when you say like Ed Sheeran is your favorite artist and every little thing is the same, that's when it's suspicious.
Very.
So there's a fine balance of like liking and being supportive of the interests and then
just lying
and going way overboard.
So that right off the bat just kind of like was kind of creepy to me. So I was
kind of
okay.
like overzealous.
I was like, that's kind of desperate. I think like you're desperate to be liked.
Yeah.
I was like, is this really like authentic then? And then as the episode progresses, they go to dinner and he's being a jerk to. Oh, look at that! Look how good that short rib looks.
Oh, look at that little sauce or the little.
Is that like a chimichurri?
Yeah. Little seasoning on top.
Back to our short rib. Short rib.
Short rib. I know. I want some.
How many times are we going to say short rib?
So they 14 more times.
That'd be amazing. I actually want some now. I'm craving some.
All right, we'll go. We'll go this weekend. We'll find the best short ribs in Los Angeles.
Yes. There probably are some good ones here.
Yeah.
Okay. Back on track. They get to the restaurant and Dan is being weird with the waiter. Like, just rude. I thought it was rude.
He was being rude and kind of like really kind of
snobby
and kind of controlling.
Yeah, and that was like a side that I hadn't seen before. He seemed like such a nice guy.
Yeah, he seemed really sweet and kind of like, treating Mallory really nicely, and then
And I cannot stand people that are not kind to like people that work in like customer service. It's like my biggest pet peeve. Like, I don't care if you're having like a bad experience. If someone's trying, you know, to do their job and be nice and give you the best experience possible and you're still being a jerk,
it's not cool. Like, just don't go out.
Just stay home, please.
Stay at home and make dinner. If you're going to complain about the wine glass that's used or how things are cooked, go and cook it yourself.
Or it's okay to not like something, but it's the way you say it.
Exactly. Like, if like you ordered a steak a certain temperature, then, and you get it
not what you ordered,
then you should be able to like say, hey, sorry, like this isn't what I ordered, and like they should
Very
be able to fix it. So, but you could do it in a nice way that I think servers would actually really appreciate.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's just how you say things.
Yeah.
So he gets up, he gets so mad because he thinks a short rib is burnt, but it's just charred.
That's
a real thing.
It is a thing, and
charred.
It still looks delicious.
Yes. I like the crispiness of charred.
I do.
Yeah.
Well, it adds like a mesquite savory, you know, you need a little bit of crunch with like the soft part of the soft rib.
I just care about what's inside, okay? If you cut it and it looks like nice, tender, juicy meat,
exactly, a little bit red, a little bit of pink.
Yeah, it looked amazing. But he gets up and starts beating up the short rib.
Yeah, well, first he starts to try to cut it, and then poor Barry is freaking out. And I feel bad for Barry. And then he punches the short rib.
It was too much.
I felt bad for that short rib.
I felt bad for the server, the short rib, everyone involved.
The restaurant. Everyone. I would, if I saw that at a restaurant, I would have been just mortified. I would have been so embarrassed. If I was in that party and someone did that, I'd be like, all right, I'm out.
And he owes Barry whatever money he paid for that.
Oh yeah, because that's expensive. It's enough for 4 people.
I agree. Do you think that Mallory should break up with him after that?
Yes. 150 million%.
Adults should not be throwing tantrums in public.
No, you punched a short rib in a restaurant.
Yelled at the worker.
And he snapped at Breanna.
Oh my! When he put his finger in Breanna's face.
Yeah, in Breanna's face. I was like, I am sorry. You do not do that.
Lord has never put me in that situation because he knows.
No,
I will not make the right choice. Someone's finger in your face. Mm-mm.
No, and you saw Breanna's face.
She was like,
yeah,
shut.
I'm surprised Barry didn't get up and say, okay, you're done.
It was too much. I think she should leave him also. It's too much, but we'll have to wait and see till next episode.
Drama.
I know we have 5 episodes left. We'll be here again on Thursday. I'm so excited to cover the rest. I want to get home and just watch the rest of the season.
I know, right?
I need to know what happens.
I know.
Today.
We have to binge watch the rest. Let's do it right now with our short rib.
If Postmates had short ribs, that would be amazing.
Oh my God, we need to look up the best short rib restaurants in LA.
That should be our news and gossip for today. I'm kidding, guys.
But let's definitely. If you guys have a favorite spot, let us know.
Comment down below.
Yes.
But I do have some news and gossip for all of you. So if you don't know already, James Fonda and Lily Tomlin, they're actually big climate change activists. And James Fonda has been arrested numerous times. If I'm not mistaken, it's about 6. And Lily Tomlin just once. So they actually co-hosted Ellen a few days ago, and they got arrested on the show. Kind of a funny little skit.
Like a little skit?
Yeah, just a funny little skit. And I think it's a super clever way to just continue promoting what they believe in. In a huge audience like that, Ellen has millions of viewers.
Yeah.
I thought it was genius. And they kind of just made light of it, laughed about it a little bit. It was just something fun for the audience. But I love how smart she is to take that onto the show.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a huge platform for them to do that.
For sure.
You know, and it's a topic, like climate change is obviously a topic that is important. It should be important for everyone, and we should, talk about it. And I love how they hang out in real life.
Yeah, and then they kind of were having a back and forth, and then Lily Tomlin's kind of you got me arrested because she's been arrested once. So that was it's kind of funny that in real life their roles are opposite.
Yeah.
James Fonda has been arrested 6 times, Lily Tomlin once, and she was kind of giving her crap for her getting arrested that one time. It seems like James Fonda's wilder one, Lily Tomlin's a little calmer. So it's kind of funny that their characters are a little backwards in real life.
Yeah. Maybe. See, I feel like Lily Tomlin is still, because I've watched her career for so long, and some of the other roles that she's played, I feel like she still has more of a Frankie vibe.
Really?
In real life, yeah.
Oh, wow.
If you follow her Twitter feed, it's
wild?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to do that then.
You should. It's fun.
But imagine just getting arrested with your really good friend.
Yeah.
But it's good that it's for, they're spreading positivity. I think it's a really important message to get out because our world's not going to survive much longer. Climate change is real, people. If you didn't know, now you know. All right, our special segment.
Awesome. So our special segment is your moment of grace. So we're going to talk about our favorite moments in these last episodes, which there was a lot of jam-packed stuff. I'm going to say one of my moments that I loved is the conversation with Frankie and Jacob on the patio when
that was mine.
I know, really? Okay, we got to pick another one. No, but when he confesses, that he still has feelings for her in so many words. He didn't really say that completely, but you could tell that he really still loves her and cares for her, and was so distraught to learn that she was sick. So
I think so. I wasn't on board, but I quickly shifted over apparently. Now that's my favorite part of this whole 2 episodes. I think I like the fact that he's like fighting for his love. Like, that's cute.
Jacob is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just caring. Why
See,
am I?
And you're on board now.
What am I doing? Just 10 minutes ago,
I know you were like, no
exes.
exes. Yeah. See,
Oh
I convinced you.
You did. No, I thought that was really sweet. I also like the funeral moment a lot.
The funeral moment actually is also my second one too.
Yeah, that was a really good one. And can the short rib be graceful? Before it was beat up?
I would say the short rib was ungraceful, but it was an awesome moment.
Yeah, it was amazing. But yeah, those are definitely my highlights.
I think it was a good character reveal where we're like, Dan's kind of like quirky and has feelings for Mallory, and then we find out he is
you're crazy.
Just a little wild.
I know, so much. Well, I can't wait for these next couple of episodes. I can't wait for the season finale.
I know.
It always ends so well. So we're going to have to... I'm sorry, go right ahead.
No, it's fine. There's so many things that are building up. We have, like, Jacob's back, and there's so many characters that, like, we're still figuring out, like, what's going to happen with Jack, what's
Jessica
happening
and Coyote.
with Saul. Jessica, exactly.
So many things. But
I'm excited.
Yeah, so good. But until then, where can people find you?
So you can find me all over social media at Emily May Heller. Wednesdays, I'm on Women's Wrestling Weekly here at AfterBuzz, and then also covering NXT. So, yeah, you can catch it.
And you can find me on Instagram at Karla Contreras and Twitter at Karla_C. See you soon. Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.